Well, hello. I might as well get started before my house gets too noisy. I should have gotten my stand, but well, um, while the house is somewhat kind of quieting down, you're gonna hear my kids in the background, and you'll probably hear the upstairs too being loud. Anywho, not to prolong this as much as long as I already have with my kidney update. This may be a lengthy video. Another reason why I want to do a live. If people come on, they come on. If they don't, they catch the replay. So I am 9 months uh, post transplant, post my kidney transplant. To be exact, I'm 9 months and 10 days. So almost 9.5 months. I got my kidney transplant, for those that are new, March 2nd of this year, 2021. Um, I'll start out with pros first. um, I'm glad that I got the kidney transplant. Um, I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm not, and I guess that's why I was kind of hesitant about the cons. But at the same time, people that go through these things, sometimes there's no feedback of what other people that have already experienced has went through. Um, but the staff that I had originally dealt with, as far as the process, any questions that I had regarding to the transplant, um, those experiences were fine. Um, Even as far as the physicals and stuff that I had to do to make sure I was a good candidate for the um, the transplant was fine. Even when I went to the dialysis center, because I had a peritoneal dialysis catheter put in, but it never got used. It was for just in case they had that I needed to go on dialysis. But right before I was supposed to start dialysis, I got my kidney transplant. So fast forward a little bit, my recovery. I'm still recovering. So what I had noticed from the time I had got my surgery was that I was having pain in my left leg. And it wasn't normal pain. Normally, I would get some hip pain in my left leg, but when I went to the gym and I would strengthen those muscles up, because I am a therapist, I know what muscles to target. Um, I was fine, and I will be fine, and never had an issue. When I had got the surgery, I noticed that I was having pain in that left leg. My transplanted kidney is on my left side. Just to give you a little bit more detail. Um, I didn't really say anything because I knew I was recovering. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I had a hematoma, which is basically like a pocket fluid filled of blood. I still have a hematoma in my stomach, but it was terrible. I do have recorded videos of my process in hematoma, but that was emotionally frustrating. It has gone down significantly a lot, but it is still there. Um, so with the pain in my left leg, I figured because I wasn't really moving around, I wasn't doing anything. I'm a very active person. I have a very active job, definitely physical labor. So I was always moving around. So I figured because I was laying down, when I came home, I didn't even lay in my on my bed probably till I was 6 weeks post, because I was having that hard of a time moving around. So I slept on my couch for the first 4 to 6 weeks. Um, so I would start, when I was able to move around and do my exercises that were given to me, I would do those, and then using the knowledge that I have in my own field, I would use that to kind of strengthen, stretch, and work that leg. And it will help a little bit. It never got rid of it, but it would alleviate the pain. So So then when I would keep telling the doctors after I realized, yeah, this is something that, but I always made sure to make note that I'm having pain here. I'm having pain here. I'm having pain here. And just to make sure that they had documentations of it. Because like I said, with the field I'm in, even though I do massages, we still have to take documentations as well. And because of the field that I'm in, dealing with the massage, let me silence my phone. Dealing with the massage, I have to take notes as well because I handle insurance. So I knew that if I kept, saying that, this is there, at least it's documented. At least I'm hoping that it is. Um, so as the time went on, I went back to work. I knew the first few weeks was going to be rough because I haven't worked in 3 months. So I eased in, of course, I felt the discomfort, of course, I felt the pain, but I was still letting the doctors know. After a while, where I was going at, doctors were switching around. Um, I was like, I never stuck with the same, I would say, updated doctor, kidney doctor. It wasn't, of course, it wasn't having my appointments with a transplant doctor. It was another doctor just to, stay on top of that. That doctor never stayed. I think I probably went through two, maybe three different doctors. And so, and this is in a 9 month period. And so when I kept saying that something was going on with my hip, the response that I got was, and it's a kind of slight paraphrase and starts in a slight quote, is that I have another patient that has a kidney sitting on their blood vessels and they are swollen on their whole side of where that kidney is at. So my thing is, sucks for them, but that has nothing to do with me. I'm telling you the pain that I'm having because they was like, oh, it's probably sitting on a nerve and just being, nonchalant about it. And so I was, and when she made the comment about the other patient, it threw me so far off. It was like I had nothing to say. Normally I got something to say, slick to say for every little thing, but it just caught me so off guard. I was like, So after a while, I got tired. I got tired of dealing with them, and then that brings my mind up to another situation. But I'll get to that. So I talked with I went to my primary care's doctor's office, and the PA there, they told me most likely it's my muscle that was strained, and the muscle that they said was the psoas muscle. So with me knowing the muscles, I figured because how and where the psoas muscle is at, this is most likely why it's pulling and tugging and giving me the pain, almost pseudo or full sciatica pain. So he tells me to start physical therapy, and in his words, he says, I will give you as many physical therapy appointments as you need. He doesn't recommend for me to get back surgery or anything. For one, I'm too young. I've already been through quite a bit, and personally, for himself, he does not. He does not just, you know, agree so much with back surgery. Paraphrasing, of course. So, so I go to physical therapy. This is in September. So by then I am 6 months post. Just now starting physical therapy. I'm still in physical therapy. Um so she gives me some exercises. She works with me, and one of the things that she mentioned to me was like, your body has been through a lot. You have been cut, multiple times. And when I think about it, from a year, from let's just say from November to November. Cause last year, November, last Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, or something like that, I had the peritoneal dialysis catheter put in. Because I remember that vividly because my husband had to cook for Thanksgiving because I couldn't do anything because it was in my stomach. So my stomach got cut for that. My stomach got cut for the biopsy. My stomach got cut for to take the stent out from the transplant. Well, that came out the other way, and but they had to go back in to take the catheter out. So I was asleep when they had did that. Then, but they had to had to go back in my stomach to take the catheter out. So that's already three, and then they had to go back in to do um, uh, um, a mandatory biopsy that they do at the third month. So my stomach within it's not even within the year. It was like November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, within 6 months, my stomach has been cut on 4 times. So so with that, my physical therapist, I'll just say PT. The PT said um that my muscles most likely got cut through. My stomach muscles were weak, and she was like, they never, thought that you should get physical therapy before or during any of this. I was like, no, it was never even the transplant team that said I should get PT. It was a PA that said I should get, PT, which is already frustrating enough. So with that, I have been in physical therapy since September, and that's continuing on now. So, and do I still have pain? Yes. Is it as bad as it was? No. Um, is it a work in progress? Absolutely. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. Because I don't really have. It's interesting because I told my husband, I said, I don't regret getting the surgery. If I had to do it again, I would do it because it's a life or death thing. I choose life. But the thing is, I feel like I have less quality of life. I feel like I have less movement of my body, or it's just less. Like I was like before, I didn't really feel sick. It was just a tired. I was tired. Now it's like I have the tiredness and like body aches. I'm not used to having body aches all day, every day. If I did something like one time or something like that, get it fixed and be done. Even with me having lumbar scoliosis, my scoliosis has never bothered me. So so I know where it starts, and what's giving my body a hard time, with the pain. So um so those are my cons. Like again I said, do I regret the surgery? No. Mm-mm. No, I don't regret the surgery. But it's frustrating. Then going back to my weight gain. So I have gained quite a bit of weight because I am on prednisone, which is a steroid. And besides the fluid that it retains on your body, it gives you cravings. So it's like I'm constantly fighting with that. I resorted to like eating applesauce and fruit cups just to curb that instead of me eating, traditional desserts and stuff like that. And I normally I don't even really bring stuff in the house like that, at least not for myself. And I do pretty good as long as I got some fruit or something like that in the house with that. Um so back to like the transplant doctor dealing with the weight, it was almost like I always got like something condescending, from her. And then how she would like, touch on my stomach and be like, this right here, it needs to go. I'm like, yeah, well, if I'm on these steroids and this medicine you guys got me on, it makes it kind of hard to lose the weight when you got this going on. And evidently I'm not getting the support that I needed. And I'm supposed to, when you have a whole transplant team, but it's like you're not getting for me, I'm not feeling like it's like that after I got the kidney, there's like the care level went down. It's like now that they got their statistics of having a 99, 98%, survival rate and stuff like that, it's like we got the numbers that we need, screw the rest. And so I stay on top of my results. They told me I had to get blood work every once a month. No, I go every 2 weeks because my blood work has fluctuated up and down so much that I don't trust them with my numbers and stuff. So when I see something, I make notes, and that's the thing. You have to advocate for yourself. I don't think we should always have to, but you do what you got to do. And far as the weight, and I told her my job is physically demanding. I'm on the go. At the time, I was starting to go back to the gym, and I was started trying to take this class on the weekends for cardio. So I will work out, and she just looking at me, and she was like, "Well, just try not to think about, the medicine or the prednisone." And I'm like, if mind over matter was that successful for a lot of people, people will be at their optimal weight where they wanted to be. People will be at their optimal position where they want to be. People will be where they want to be if it was truly mind over matter with a lot of stuff. Yes, a lot of things start at the mind, but it's not the whole thing. Just like with losing weight, it's not just about exercising, but it's about exercising and diet. It's not one or the other. So, and I told her because part of my transplant team was nutritionists. So I said, I want to speak to my nutritionist. And she just looks at me like, basically how they're like, no, I want to speak to my nutritionist. You are not a nutritionist. You are the doctor. Two different specialities, two different specialties. And I speak to the nutritionist. And she was saying, because before part of the process of being a candidate for the transplant, I had to do a food diary. I don't know if everybody had to. I did a food diary so that they knew what I was eating, how I was eating, and how to tweak it. This is why I went vegetarian prior to, because of my levels, that was suggested what was best for me. So she already knew how my eating habits was, and she knew for the most part I ate healthy. And so because of that, she was like, "Well, we'll have to tailor things for you." Then she recommended me to see a medical nutritional therapy, do a dietitian to help with medical nutritional therapy. So what that does is it takes my medications, my lifestyle, and my health history in mind and creates a plan specifically for me. And I talked to some people that work in the same hospital, and they was like, I didn't even know I had that. I was like, I didn't even know that even existed. And the thing is, if had I not never said anything, and had I not ever advocated for anything, I would never even gotten that. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad I get it, but I shouldn't have to go toe to toe with the person that's paid to take care of me and to do their job to help me with it. I don't care whether it's insurance or not. Either way or not, I pay into that insurance. Do your job. so and so she had said something about me going back to my regular prior kidney doctor, my nephrologist, and I already had a mind to do that anyhow, because my thing is, a lot of times I rather deal with PAs, NPs, RNs, all that, because they have better bedside manners. Very few, like my primary care doctor, she's a doctor, and she's an internist, but she listens. She's very empathetic. So the original nephrologist that I had, a couple of them that I had, they are very empathetic. They have very good bedside manners. They listen. So I was already saying, send me back, but she beat me to the punch. So I go back to see her Friday on the 17th. So my thing is, and that even with that, she didn't even, that doctor didn't even discuss with the doctor I'm supposed to go see who I want to see. They didn't even send her the notes that I was supposed to come. I already had an appointment scheduled. I went there, and there was a miscommunication because she never spoke to that doctor. She was like, "Oh no, Precious is not supposed to see me anymore. She's getting, taking care of a transplant." Never even got discussed with her. And when she found out, she was like, "Oh, Precious, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." I don't fault her. I fault the transplant team because they dropped the ball not communicating. So, so all this, like I said, as far as the surgery itself, I don't take it back. But far as the care and the nonsense that I've had to deal with is taking a toll on me. Emotionally, is taking a toll on me, because I'm ready to tell somebody, and I'm ready to punch somebody in their face because I'm tired. I'm tired, and I'm tired, and I'm tired. Like, I got an appointment tomorrow morning to see my therapist. That's where I'm at. It has been a long and draining process, and I don't think it should be necessary. And that's why I'm making this video. Whoever watches, I hope it helps. Advocate for yourself. And the medications are giving you a hard time, Speaking of medications, even the pharmacist, another, because you probably see the phone shaking, probably trying to, probably got you a little dizzy. One of the side effects I have with the medication is I have hand tremors. So, and most of the time I notice it when I'm trying to do something, far as with focusing. So, if it's like me trying to write, with me trying to, brush my teeth, or feed myself, like things that take focus for me to make it into like a certain thing, that's when I notice it the most. And it's like when I'm home, it doesn't really bother me, but when I'm out in public, if I go out to eat or something like that, it bothers me. So, because I feel it's not that I think, not that I worry about what people think, is that I don't like that attention. I don't like that attention drawn to me. So that's the other thing. And I talked to the pharmacist about that, and they was like, "Have you told the doctor about the tremors and stuff that you have?" Yeah. And he was like, she knows that there's a slower dosage of your anti-rejection medicine that you can be on, so that you won't have to, deal with so much issues. But would you think I got that? No, absolutely not. So the care that I got sucked. Now the reason, but like I said, I don't know. Like, it's like people ask, like, how did I get in first? And I always say, it was favor. But at the hospital I went to, it was up the University Hospital in Syracuse, New York. What I will say is that, it was good because they try to have you on a wait list no more than 2 years. They tell you, my thing is, people ask how you get on. I was like, if you do what they tell you to do, far as, if hopefully you have good doctors on your team, that, if they tell you to change your diet, which I did. If they tell you, if you try to be physical, or tell you to walk, whatever, so your body can be as much physically strong enough to, even go through the procedure, do those things, so that can bump you up, on the line. But as far as I advocate, do I fault the hospital as a whole? Absolutely not, because everybody else I deal with is within that same network of hospital through upstate. My primary care goes through upstate. The PA went through goes through upstate. My other nephrologist is through upstate, and my PT is through upstate. So it's not the hospital as a whole, but they got some departments they need to work on. So, um, yeah, that's my update. Um, my hair have fallen off. You still haven't seen it in the previous life. Like I'm saying, when I said, it's just been it's been going. And I know sometimes people, well, how can you laugh at it? I mean, sometimes I'm at the point, all you can do is laugh and just be like, of course. Like in my old video I made, I had to get to the point that there aren't any bad days. I'm just having rough days. Thing is, I just been having a lot of rough days with this, and I just, trying to make it through, trying to help that my journey can help somebody else that goes through, and just have a good and decent life. Want to be able to run and stuff again, and do certain things without, having so much ache pain. I'm not even 40 years old. I'm just like, jeez. But yeah, so that'll be the end of this video. I will upload another video hopefully tomorrow. It will be a hair video. If you have any questions or comments and regarding on this video, leave them down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.